Foot size?
Foot size doesn't matter.
Have you had a meal?
Alone.
Down on good. Can you just take off?
10 Disney movie scenes with secret messed up meanings. While Disney's known for its wholesome family values, anything can happen in production, and sometimes that includes a disgruntled animator slipping in something X-rated. This is our list of 10 Disney movie scenes with secret and messed up meanings.
Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video.
10. Beauty and the Beast and the phallic nose. Take a perfect Disney classic like Beauty and the Beast, and it's hard to say it's not absolutely perfect. Of course, if you thought this historic animated feature was free of any hidden, twisted imagery, you'd be sadly wrong. Even the most keen-eyed Disney fan might not notice this one, but once you see it's hard to forget. In fact, it might just be burned into your mind for eternity. The nasty scene in question is one between Gaston and LeFou. Some have argued it's just a case of unfortunate animation, while many other diehard Disney fans insist it was something vile simply lost in the cracks of production. Look at the nose on LeFou. That kind of thing doesn't just happen by accident, right? It's pretty clear what's going on. This startling poke of his nose creates one hard-to-miss phallic symbol. 9. Jessica Rabbit exposes herself. This case is one of the rare times when the number of claims over the explicit content got so heavy that Disney had to fess up and address a rare and unfortunate animation slip. If you look closely in some scenes, you might just catch Jessica Rabbit exposing herself to the camera. Pretty messed up, but luckily, most copies of the film floating around there are the edited versions. But if you're one of the big fans who grabbed an early VHS copy or even went out to the theaters to see it, you probably also got flashed in the face without even knowing it. If you pause the movie at just the right point, you will see Jessica's rabbit. And no, I'm not talking about Roger. While Jessica's character is written to be alluring and sensual, it's definitely pushing the Disney line to have something so crude. But for that being said, you can't help but cringe at the guy who discovered this little animated madness. That man is just as much a creep as that Disney animator. 8. Sneaky size reference on Frozen. Don't worry, we're taking a break from the messed up visual things. Still, this one's almost too in your face. In Frozen, there's a sneaky little sexual reference that most people aren't talking about. Frozen wowed audiences and critics alike with its fresh and modern take on romance. The focus on sisterly love over marriage was a progressive stance, and something most audiences hadn't seen in a major animated film from the story's studio. And while Disney hoped to break its spell of Prince Charming and princess romances, someone over there must not have been too happy in the animation department. In the beginning, Anna's character is a typical leading lady and obsessed with Hans, pretty boring stuff. After only meeting him once, they're meant to be engaged until Kristoff points out how crazy and ridiculous this elopement would be. Still, on their way to the North Mountain, Kristoff tries to break the ice. He quizzes Anna about Hans, asking all the basics including the deal breakers. He asks about his last name, favorite food, eye color, all pretty standard cutesy stuff any kid could get behind. That is, until he asks about Hans's foot size. Okay, we're all thinking it, but Disney takes it a step further when she responds,
Foot size?
Foot size doesn't matter.
Foot size doesn't matter. That was in a Disney movie. Pretty insane and progressively feminist, some might say. 7. Real-life topless woman, The Rescuers. This is another one on the lighter side and is really just hilarious if you think about it. In the famous animated mouse, no, not Ratatouille, don't worry, we won't ruin that for you. The Rescuers, 2 of the mice are flying through the city. If you keep your eyes peeled, you'll spot a little window in the background with a topless woman. It's a non-animated one just crudely pasted into a window frame. It's so fast and seemingly innocent, you often don't hear anything about it. This is another piece that has since been edited out by Disney, meaning they do in fact admit to it. Come Can we just stop for a moment? How is this happening? How are they able to show this to children? Anyway, if you go and pick up a copy today, chances are you won't see any of the nudity, but rare copies and the initial prints of the film will have the topless woman. 6. Priest gets erection. The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid takes the cake in terms of how sick Disney can really get. Before you even get into the movie, you might notice some surprising hidden messages on the cover. You'll want to believe with every fabric of your being that the mushroom tip is just that, a mushroom tip. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Once you dive a little deeper into the sick underwater fantasy world, you'll discover many more horrifying secrets. For instance, the real shocking moment is when the priest who's marrying the fish and human has a sudden, visible erection. It's subtle, but it's clearly there. While the public called for a new edit, Disney did try to defend this one, claiming it was simply the priest's knee and the audiences were the true creeps. That being said, if you watch closely, the priest's knees don't even move a bit. Who knows what was going on with this character's motivations? One thing is for sure, if you buy the Blu-ray copy today, the priest's knee is edited out. Disney is admitting by default in this case. 5. Wing boner. Toy Story 2. This is another subliminal one on the list. In fact, you'd have to take a good long look to really see it. Of course, once you catch it, there's no going back. This is the scene where Buzz Lightyear gets what the internet has now dubbed a wing boner in Toy Story 2. When Jessie shows off her skill in opening the door, Buzz is left in absolute awe. He's completely beside himself, but he doesn't have to do much. His wings pop out, his jaw drops, and his lights go off. We know exactly what this means. It might not literally be an erection like with the priest, but it's clearly being referenced here, right? Most of the internet agrees, and even some of the creators might have that tongue-in-cheek grin when asked about it. 4. Sex in the Stars. The Lion King. Lion King is known for its glorious and soul-shattering scenes of drama, the musical score, the bold characters. It's everything you need to know about life. In fact, it's the circle of life. But as things seem to go at Disney Animation, the creators couldn't quite help themselves and dropped in some subtle little hints. If you're paying close attention, you'll notice it's all written in the stars. Literally. Many fans argue this one isn't actually real, but it seems pretty clear to others. In the debated scene, while our attention is focused on the lion, the shifting stars up in the galaxy above seem to spell out the word sex. Sure, it's kind of fuzzy, but it's not so surprising taking Disney's track record into consideration. There seems to be a long Disney animator tradition of pulling these little pranks on innocent children all over the country. We get it. Hiding inappropriate stuff in a kid's cartoon is funny. 3. Telling kids to get naked. Aladdin. This is another highly debated moment that is even more hidden in the film. It's not visual, but another audio cue that has blown many die-hard fans away. While Aladdin is filled with magic and innocent fun, even important messages about life and growing up, you'll find some other more subversive messages as well. In one particular moment, as Aladdin is trying to show off to Jasmine, you'll hear some slightly gibberish line about taking off your clothes. This is super hidden, so the sound has to be almost all the way up, but if you listen to it, it's in there, clear as a bell.
Take off.
Who knows what they were thinking and why they thought this would be funny? The way it's all said and the context makes it seem like they were asking the audiences watching to unrobe. It's not part of the character's speech, but a separate voice entirely that commands the viewer to get naked. Really makes you wonder what those animators are really up to. 2. The blatant blue cock. Hercules. This one is probably the most obvious on the list. Almost everyone has noticed, and whether they say something or not, it's clear what's going on. In one moment from Hercules, the River Guardian gets hit in the head with a horseshoe, and a blue penis seems to sprout in the form of a swollen bump. The ball shapes at the base make it clear what the animators were going for. It's obvious at this point in Disney's long tradition of hiding messed up secret messages, they had completely given up on trying to hide anything and were going for all-out brazenly explicit content. Who knows what kind of movie you'd actually find a blue erection coming out of a demon's head, but one thing is for sure, this film shouldn't be the one. Kids all over the world know the story of Hercules and waited anxiously to see Disney's version. Who would have thought they might be subjected to this? On the other hand, this movie does have Danny DeVito playing a satyr, so you can't pretend like you didn't know what you were getting into. Maybe this was bound to show up at some point. 1. Ariel eats a Sebastian-like crab in Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid has shown up a few times on this list now, and that should be enough said. Of course, this particular moment is pretty different on the messed up scale. In the one scene of the hit animated film in which Ariel dines with Eric, there are crabs being prepared to eat for dinner. Sebastian discovers the crabs while making his way into the kitchen. He is shocked when coming face to face with his brethren in their final moments. Of course, the film doesn't draw too much attention that what's being prepared is about to be fed to Sebastian's best friend, Ariel, and apparently, Ariel has absolutely no problem with eating the kind of crab that she spends almost all of her time with. When they bring out the meal, she doesn't even make a face at the dead stuffed crab being served to her. Children are lucky that the scene ends before Ariel or Eric eat anything at all. But maybe that was Disney's design and leaves a big question. Does she end up eating the crabs? This might be better left unanswered. While Disney is beloved by almost everyone and celebrated for its family values and pursuit of protecting cherished childhoods all around the world, there were definitely some questionable moments for the studio and its animators. This has been 10 Disney movie scenes with secret messed up meanings. We hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, like, and subscribe for more content.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.